association of eminent sons and daughters of Ijebuland. We propagate good ideals of OMO-OBA, high moral standards, unquestionable integrity, and inculcation of virtues among our people. Ictv is the online media platform showcasing the core values of Ijebu people all over the world in order to promote unity, interpersonal relationships, socio-cultural heritages of the Ijebus, and development of the esteemed people of Ijebu and Ijebuland. Join Ictv live on social media handles, that is YouTube and Facebook, as we bring to your doorsteps various highly educative programs bearing to all and sundry the lives, the virtues, the heritage, and common interest of our dear motherland and her people. For Ijebu Congress TV, I am Ambassador Flourish Ayomiko.
Ọmọ banta ogorogaluda gbọnu jagun ọmọ ṣe ọmọ ra ọmọ oníyebu àgbà ndo gẹrẹgẹrẹ níga lóde ìga níbi ẹ̀jẹ̀ kó sí òdodo omi owó yemulẹ omi ilẹ̀. Àwa ti lómi nílẹ̀ ká ìṣàwó láyé ìṣàwó òde o bàbá yeye.
Ẹ̀wẹ̀ sọ Ìjẹ̀bú ọmọ aláre o ẹ̀sọ́ ẹ máa ní sùúrù kúrú ṣíkọ́ máa wọ bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Good afternoon, viewers at home. This is Ijebu Congress TV, and my name is Ambassador Flourish Ayomiko. With me on set, I have OTUNBA and Alhaji Babatunde Emilola Gazal. We are here for personality interview with OLORI OMO-OBA of IJEBULAND himself, OTUNBA Michael OLASUBOMI. BALOGUN. I'm going to leave it to Aji OTUNBA Emilola Gazal to do the introduction.
OTUNBA Michael OLASUBOMI BALOGUN is a lawyer, a banker. He's a lawyer and a pioneer entrepreneur banker in Nigeria. The first person to establish indigenous merchant banking in Nigeria. Is fondly referred to as the Grand Master. OTUNBA Subomi Balogun is the founder of the Four City Monument Bank, which is a part of the Four City Monument Group conglomerate. OTUNBA is a philanthropist who has dedicated a large chunk of his resources to the care of the less privileged across the country. And he does this without hesitation, without looking back. OTUNBA Subomi Balogun has this sartorial elegance about it. Very much, always in immaculate white. Very sartorial, very elegant, all the time. Born in Ijebu almost 87 years ago, OTUNBA is a prince of the Towashi, ruling house of Ijebu. Papa, you were born in Ijebu. And there's no doubt about it, you were born with a silver spoon. How silver was your spoon when you were born?
Silver spoon. Well, I'm proud of my parentage as well as the families from which my both parents came from. My father, who was a Muslim, was well known as Pa Ashiru Balogun. Some people call him Pa Oliga. My great grandfather and the Kukus our brothers, were brothers. There was a legendary family which probably covers nearly half of Ijebu, called BALOGUN. There are many relations of that family, but the most prominent were the two who were made the Balogun of Ijebu, Balogun Kuku and Balogun Odunuga. They were brothers. We had other people whose mothers come from the same Balogun in Mobasoro, near Ikanibo, near where the St. Saviour's Church was first built, the first site of a Christian church in IJEBULAND. The Mobasoro, the Balogun family in Mobasoro has a lot of tentacles. As I said, if you talk of Balogun in Ijebu, quite a large number of people. But because my great-grandfather, Balogun Kasumu Odunuga, was very well known, the Kuku family had their own. They were Baloguns at the time we had the British incursions. It was Balogun Onofo, then Balogun Kuku. Between 1926 and 29, my own grandfather came in, great-grandfather. So, in those days in Ijebu, not now, only the Baloguns will always be on horseback to go to either the Idil Fitri or so we were very prominent sons of Balogun. Towoba Regun La Shesho, Shiwo La Showo. Báàrẹ̀ ni gbẹ́kẹ̀lé àtẹ̀rámọ́ṣẹ́ ni ọmọ Balogun Dodonda. That's for the Balogun side. On my mother's side, my mother's father was the eldest of the children of the Olisa Olubajo. He was very well known, one of the first people that brought cars into Ijebu. He had business in Egbado. They called him Papa Lisa in that place, but people know him. He belonged to the Obashe age group, the age of the former Awujale, Oba Adesoya. He and another friend of his called Pariesho, they dominated Ilaro Egbado area, so much so that there is hardly anybody in that place that don't know Baba Lisa. The market was behind his shop and his building. He was very prominent, very wealthy. One of the first people that God enabled to bring a car into Ijebu. The one of, I'm not saying it was the best. My mother, on the other hand, apart from being a daughter and a granddaughter of Olisa Olubajo, she was also a great-granddaughter of Oba Adesimbo Tuwache. The Awujale who was there when the British came in. The Awujale who allowed the British to preach Christianity. The Awujale who first recognized the group of Muslims led by Balogun Kuku. My mother was a Yasuna, the most revered woman in the Muslim district. Ironically, at the age of 63, exactly the same age as Papa Odutola, I was made the Asiwaju of Ijebu Christian. My mother's grandmother was the first daughter of Obade Simbotunwaje. My mother's mother, my grandmother, was from royalty, married to Olisa, the second in rank in Ijebu. So I came with a bit of I would say a lot of nobility.
Ìjẹ̀bú ọmọ aláre o ẹ̀sọ́.
ọmọ bá ń ta ògbòrògàn ló dá gbọ́nù jagun ọmọ ṣe ọmọ ra ọmọ oníyebu àgbà ń do gẹ́rẹ́gẹ́rẹ́ níga lóde ìga níbi ẹ̀jẹ̀ kú sí òdodo omi owó yémulẹ̀ omi ilẹ̀. Àwa ti lómi nílẹ̀ ká ìṣàwó láyé ìṣàwó òde o bàbá yeye.
Ẹ̀wẹ̀ sọ Ìjẹ̀bú ọmọ aláre o ẹ̀sọ́. Ẹ̀ka ní sùúrù ṣíkọ́ máa wọ bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Now, your life has been full of activities, packed with a lot of first in many areas of endeavors, sir. Now, let's look at it from this way. How did it all start, sir? Was somebody your role model, sir?
Only my God.
Only God.
Only my God. Only my God. I don't see anyone who had done what the good Lord had done for me.
And, sir,
I appreciate people, but I don't accept in God. I admire senior people. Some people call me Oreagba. I only befriend senior people because at times I'm frightened. Most of my contemporaries, I'm a step ahead of them. So that is the reason why I concentrate on talking of God. It's so captivating what has happened to me. I don't. Because what was happening to me is a divine miracle. Quote me. That, okay, apart from Baba Odutola, who had money and he was a legend, who in Ijebu can you say I'm looking for? So I'm only thinking of the home from where I come. And I've told you, they were well known in Ijebu circles, but in economic and other things, they were middle class. But in Ijebu, they were big. But what I attained, it's only God that did it. Yeah.
So that the home, sir, let's just take a leap into your solid footprints in philanthropy. We have observed as you grow, your philanthropism grows and nearly outgrowing you.
Thank you.
We looked at the IJEBULAND Children Ward at University College in Nevada.
No, it's the second one.
That is the second one.
Yeah, the OTUNBA, children's emergency ward. No, in the university, UCH, Ibadan.
First one.
If you go to University of Ibadan, College Hospital, when you are going on the ramp, the place is this thing.
Right.
It was a precursor of my interest in children.
Good. That's exactly where you are going, sir. You say that your decision to engage in philanthropism is more tilted towards the care of the children.
Yeah.
Why do you love children so much?
Thank you very much. Maybe it's divine direction. And listen to the story.
Yes, sir.
For everything I've done, I had to edit my autobiography when I told them. I see God's intervention in everything I have done. The University Teaching Hospital in Ibadan decided to invite Nigerians to come and help them that the place was going down. They invited one Chief Adebowale from Ekwe, electrical. They invited my Hebrew and your small Egbon, Shubomi Balogun.
And small and
I'll tell you, we got there. By the time I got there, so many people already know Egbon Shubomi, and another thing. But there was a cousin of mine. There was one Professor Olumade Adewuja, also from Tunwate. As soon as he saw me, he became hysteric. Egbon, will be there on children. While we were there, they were trying to pass a drip from one child to the other, and something happened. The child that was to take the drip slumped. I was shaking. And I was saying, Otiku. I decided to take over the management and continuous improvement of the Children's Hospital. In those days, it was small money, but God had so done well for me. I already own a bank. When I was starting, God was my only partner. But the law says that you cannot own more than 5%. So I had to give to some people 1%, the 4% becoming it. So I thought of myself, even God asking me to do something about children. I was thinking of what to do. Big signboard in the University Hospital, OTUNBA, this thing. Very many people heard of it. Then the medical people decided to honor me, the late Emperor Abiola and Babangida, for what we have done for health. Listen. The other two did not come. I was asked to respond on behalf of the donees, the people who have donated. I made a statement and I thanked them. When I finished, the then Minister of Health, Professor Olikoye Ransom-Kuti, was walking up to me as if just to congratulate me. And he put his hand on my shoulder. He said, "OTUNBA, the university, the Ministry of Health, and those authorities, we appreciate you." He said, "But I'm going to give you a tickler. One thing you can do for Nigeria, there is a hospital in London called the Great Ormond Street Hospital for Children, based in London. If you can donate something like that for this country, I said, how much do you think it will cost? He said, by the time you spend 50 million, you will be. I'm talking of 1986 or so. Yeah. I said, I said, oh, I will see what I will do. The next thing, some people also again had heard of what I was doing for children. And they were saying that I was just doing it to outside IJEBULAND. Why didn't I come? So I went to the Ogun State government. I need a place to build a ward in honor of my mother. My mother was still alive. So I built a 40-bed children's ward with incubators for children who were born below this, and air conditioned it. And I called it IJEBULAND. Then God also showed his hands again. I'm saying this to thank God. And I don't need to boast. I don't. While we were sitting down, Awujale, the Federal Minister of Health, everybody, someone was making a statement. Then we had a loud play. We thought maybe some cars are smart. It was a taxi bringing a pregnant woman. And the streets they stopped in the glare of everybody. The next thing we saw, a woman put out her leg and was delivering a baby. Oh yes. In IJEBULAND, it's a story well known. In the meantime, nurses and everybody and they helped the woman. So I just turned to my boy behind me. I said I would adopt that child. Whenever it is, I will educate him. The boy is now called Shubomi. So we picked him up, we educated him. He wanted to work. Before that, he went to university. He wanted to work. He didn't come to me. My children are his uncles. He went to Ladi. And before I knew, he's now working in FCMP. Now, all these were signs to me. Who am I? So at times, I was doing this thing. Take, for instance, 50 million we were talking about. But by the time I was 60, giving a listing to UCH, to the University of Ibadan, I've spent over 3 billion. And it was going on like that. So I decided that God wanted me to do this. So I go on doing it. It is the divine push from the Almighty God. And it's one of the reasons why I keep on saying God, 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 God. If anybody were to count how many times I've mentioned the name of God, you would think it is not a Pharisaical thing. It's as a result of what has happened to me. Yeah, many of the Jebus were legendary. But what God has done for me, I think I have reason to rename it to my God every day.
Thank you very much, sir. It is no doubt that you're so godly. We thank God for the godly intervention. Now, I want to talk about the fashion sector.
The what sector?
Your fashion sector. Sir, it has been well observed that over a long time, you've been turning out all these white, immaculate, sartorial attires. What informed this decision?
For everything, and God knows I'm not a Pharisee. I talk of God. I wanted to be immaculate, pure in the eyes of my Lord, serving everything. I'll tell you a very interesting joke. A very notable person in Ijebu one day saw me at a function about 20 and 30 years ago and said, "Otunba, you don't copy me with this your wife." And I said, "You've forgotten, sir. We all said that we will only be wearing white."
Was that the advertising?
Don't quote it. Don't quote it.
I'm not asking my man.
Don't quote it though, because I don't want to embarrass.
And since when have you been doing this, sir? Since when have you been doing this?
Let me give you the correct listing. At least about 50 years.
Yes.
About 50 years. There was a time I used to sing, "Nche ladiko yewa la ṣe dákun fún aṣọ àwọn ìjòyè ni wọ́n fi ń ṣẹ̀ṣọ́ sọmọyán ẹlẹ́wù ẹ̀tù ẹ̀sàmù àwòréré." I think at a time I want to throw myself into the hands of God because it had been so magnificent to my life. I said I would only be wearing white. I think, yeah.
Been so super exciting moments, having your concert.
Yeah.
Ṣùgbọ́n pẹ́sàn kan wà tí mo fẹ́ bèèrè tó jẹ́ pé mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé bí mo ṣe fẹ́ bèèrè fún ọmọ aráàlú pátápátá ni. Apart from your sartorial attire, tí o bá dẹ̀ rí àrí wípé you have this massive, super massive buildings, white, painted white, even the bags. Do you also ride in white cars?
Well, people know it in Ijebu. I have white Rolls Royces. Yeah, I mean, among those of us, Rolls Royce is Obaka.
Ọmọ bá ń ta ògbòrògàn ló dá gbọ́nù jagun. Ọmọ ṣe ọmọ ra ọmọ oníyebu àgbà ń do gẹ́rẹ́gẹ́rẹ́ níga lóde ìga níbi ẹ̀jẹ̀ kú sí. Òdodo omi owó yé múlẹ̀ omi ilẹ̀. Àwa ti lómi nílẹ̀ ká ìṣàwó láyé ìṣàwó dé o bàbá yéyé.
Ẹ̀wẹ̀ sọ Ìjẹ̀bú ọmọ alárẹ̀ o ẹ̀sọ́. Ẹ̀ka ní sùúrù ṣíkọ́ máa wọ bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Baba, you also told me sir once, ẹ̀yin àtàwọn jáde, ẹ̀yin tí ń pè ní aláìdá o.
Yeah. You sang it during the event.
Ẹ sọ fún mi sà pé ẹ máa dá ọjà ẹ sà. Mo wá láìpẹ́ orí yẹn kó sà. Ìfàyè dẹ́ sà.
Surely, if anybody were to write the history of Awujale and I, he will give praise to God. One of the things Awujale is good for, if he likes you, he will do everything great for you. But then he has several children. Some of the children might say, I will get a like this one. Why is he not quarreling with this one? I don't know. But good Lord taught me how to manage him. No human being is perfect. So I have maintained it. I have seen instances when Awujale will call me and some topic they go and say, oh, ẹ̀yin méjèèjì ní àwòrán mi ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ jà. To me that was law. Then by nature I'm open. Apart from my God, there is nobody to obey me. Awujale is a very strong personality, and I am one person that I think so much of God in dealing with everybody, all of us. So, láti mọ̀ wá, oníwà. Then there is something in Ijebu we call constitutional authority. Okay, Òrìṣà Ìjẹ̀bú. Ní àyè tiẹ̀ tó wà yẹn, I for one will not question him. Mo mọ tí wọ́n fún wọn ni. That is the secret of our getting well.
Papa, is it your love for Awujale? Ló ń jẹ́ kẹ́ máa ṣe ìfẹ́ǹsì ní Ojúdọba. Ojúdọba is the biggest cultural festival in the world.
That's a very good one.
Apart from
let me tell you, it is not only because of Awujale.
Or is it? You have all the attributes of Ijebuland.
Yeah.
Ijebu is hardworking.
Yeah.
Ijebu is trustworthy.
Yeah.
Ijebu need personal dignity.
Yeah.
Ijebu need gates. Sartorial elegance. They didn't know
See.
Ojudoba only the biggest festival in Ijebuland.
Right.
And for years, the organization has been supporting Ojudoba. Is it because of your love for Awujale? Or is it love for Ijebuland?
Aha, that is very good. It is my love for Ijebu, which is what the Awujale stands for. Okay? There are certain sacrosanct laws in IJEBULAND. Oh, God of God, you do so Toba Lashe. Even Awujale will tell you that he's not a perfect human being. But when I have cause to disagree, I don't disagree with Oba. I'll tell you a joke. We were very young. I was living in Ikoyi, number 48 Glover Road, a government lawyer. Awujale came around from where he was to see me. And Awujale said somewhere here. And he said, "Omoba, come, why do you go with me?" My mother said, "No, it's not permitted that one should sit on the same seat." It shows you the upbringing I have. Respect for constituted authority. Even some people have said, of all the Awujale's friends, that I'm the last man standing. But it is not. God is with him. Whoever touches the Lord's anointed, the nemesis is there. Ọlọ́run ti gbé síbẹ̀ yẹn. Question.
But listen, Awùjalẹ̀ sir. Bẹ́ẹ̀ máa ṣe describe Awùjalẹ̀. Ìwé ìrìnsà Awùjalẹ̀ sir.
Bí wọ́n ti describe it.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ máa ṣe describe Awùjalẹ̀.
I think he is one of the luckiest Ijebu that has been created by the good Lord. Then he has gone through a lot. But somehow he has divine guidance as to how to go through it. So, what do I take from that? Don't touch the Lord's anointed and tọ́lọ́run bá gbé síbì kan. Má ṣe bàjẹ́ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. That is what I'm saying. Ọlọ́run ló gbé bẹ̀. Apart from being my personal friend, Ọlọ́run ló gbé bẹ̀. And incidentally, my ambitions are very few. And God has satisfied them. The only thing I now want is for the good Lord to continue to protect me and my family, and to enable me to do good to my fellow human beings.
So let me change the shift of the discussion. At some profile, more should be ìwé ìrọ̀rẹ́ ìjẹ́. Ojúlówó Ìjẹ̀bú ẹ̀wà sí. Ìjẹ̀bú alẹ́ fi yan ọgbọ̀n. Anywhere àdìlẹ̀ àdìlẹ̀ rẹ̀ ẹ̀wà sí. Kẹ́rọ̀ fọ Ìjẹ̀bú yẹ fún dà, ìròyìn dà. What is your view? You love Ìjẹ̀bú so much.
I
What
do.
do you think we should be?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Olórí ọmọ ọba níbí, and everybody knows ọmọ ọba ti ń jẹ ẹ́. First of all, many younger generations of Ijebus should come home and show their love to their fatherland.
How, sir?
Contribute to anything that will lift up the spirit of the Ijebus. Ọ̀hán yẹn ni mo fẹ́ sọ fún ẹ. Mo ìfẹ́ sọ pé àwọn Ìjẹ̀bú míì, Ìjẹ̀bú ojúde ọba rán wa. But I live Ìjẹ̀bú, and I'm also proud of it. I have 4 sons. I make sure lọ́dọọdún àwọn pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ wọn Ìjẹ̀bú Òde la máa wà. Usually on the 26th of December, Awùjalẹ̀ will fix some others to come and spend time with me. And one of the things my children look up to is for them to greet Awùjalẹ̀ for the year. Let me joke about that. I thank God that definitely my children are so concerned about the legacy I'm leaving that Obaship will be the last. At very young age, the eldest is 55, 54, 55. Then àwọn yòókù gbẹnu lé ìkan 52, ìkan àwọn yòókù 50, almost 50. And they have been blessed by God. Have 16 grandchildren, 10 grandsons, six granddaughters. I've had this accomplishment before I turned 75. And everybody don't educate or money. But thank God, I try to educate my children. They are professionals rather than people who will want to come and say to Ijebu. A minimum compare one. Secondly, the one thing I don't forget, Ọmọ Balógun ni mí, ni bàbá mi. In Ìjẹ̀bú, ọmọ ọkùnrin ló ń jọba. I don't want to. I know the history. No, I know the history of Ijebu. That I've even built the first museum in IJEBULAND. And all we do there is study Ijebu history. The Ijebu society we have needs a bit of reorientation. People who would love Ijebu more than their personal self. It's a discipline which is difficult. Some people, because they want to enjoy London, because they want to do this and that, they don't. I always make it a point of view to go to Ijebu. And as soon as I arrive, the first person I will ring is Kabis. Not just because he's my friend. He is the Olori. The other thing I also tell my people and that is that Ọlọ́run ló gbé wọn síbẹ̀. Olúwa ní ṣọlá. Tí ò bá sí ní ọwọ́ ẹ tàbí nǹkan tọ́lọ́run fẹ́ ṣe fún ẹ, tó bá knock torí ẹ against the wall. Then lastly, we want Ijebus beyond Ojudoba to show affection for Ijebu. Ojudoba is just one day. It was Balogun to thank Awujale, and the Christians to thank the Awujale, who happens to be Tonwache, not that Ojudoba. I didn't know we were going to talk so much, but I'm happy that what. Let me tell you, I had seen a lot in life. Awolumate, OMO-OBA. Mi ilé ẹ̀bà dojú kọ Awùjalẹ̀ nítorí pé Ọlọ́run ló gbé bẹ̀. Mi ilé lè báyọ̀ jókòó máa plan.
Ẹ ṣe sá. Tí ọba wò ló ṣe sọ́ọ̀sì, a rí pé ẹ ti ṣe gbogbo méje. Ẹ̀yà mẹ́fà pẹ̀lú àṣẹ Ọlọ́run.
Apájúlọ ní àtìlẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú.
A bẹ̀rí pé gbẹ́wọ̀n lóyìnbó ti ń pè wọ́n ní legacy, wọ́n ní gift of will ní, especially for personal growth. Àti àbíkẹ́ material that will be created of you. Sir, society wa ní Ìjẹ̀bú-Land, we've seen so many things. We're still curious about the family. Personally, sir.
How did I manage it?
Your management of this thing, and exactly what would you want us to remember you in Ìjẹ̀bú-Land?
Oore ọ̀fẹ́ Ọlọ́run ni máa ń tọrọ. That's how I manage. Even tí n bá ní disagreement pẹ̀lú ẹ̀, tó bá ní ká wá pàdé, màá ní fọ̀nà hàn mí ò Olúwa má má jẹ́ ń ṣìnà nílé ayé mi oore ọ̀fẹ́ hàn oore ọ̀fẹ́ Ọlọ́run mi ò perfect o but I avoid being controversial with anybody. Ìbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run ni. I have a young friend. Ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀ ní Ràdákẹ́ Ọkọ̀yà. Ó kọ́lé ẹ̀ ó ní Ọlọ́run ní Ṣọlá. Yeah. Mo máa ń sọ fún ìyàwó mi pé succinct and very deep meaning. Ayé, whatever you have become today, Ọlọ́run ló dá ẹ. Mi ní gbójú lókè wo ẹ̀dá Ọlọ́run kan. I'm sorry to be saying all this out. I'm not a Pharisee. There are many people who have interviewed me. But the way he talked about legacy for the Ijebus and younger ones, I wanted to speak my mind. Ṣé rí ìgbà tí Ọlọ́run dá gbogbo wa? Ó ti bu iṣẹ́ oníkálukú lé lọ́wọ́. Má deviate from what God. Má fọwọ́ sọ̀yà níwájú Ọlọ́run. So gbogbo nǹkan lé ayé. Èmi máa ń gbàdúrà fọ́nà hàn mí ò Olúwa. Má má jẹ́ ń ṣìnà nílé ayé mi. Fọ́nà hàn mí ò Olúwa. Má jẹ́ kí n bẹ́ẹ̀. That is what I do. I said it at the beginning. I have a young friend and a Ictv. He's been with me for nearly 40 years. One day I just called him and the wife picked it up. Baba. Uncle don't pay, you better answer him. Then the fellow came round to see me. Bani, anybody, enter money, or just one on with the television. Money, I'm getting on in years. At that time, I was just late, 60, 70 now. Baba was retired. Money, I'm getting on in years. I want to bring you to be a director in a few companies in my group. And the specific duty in fact, my bami to Ladisona. If you have ever watched the television, the young man is called Bismarck Rewane. Yeah. Baba, the Mimo as a lawyer. Then the uncle was a close friend of Baba Olowo. Nobody felt amazed. He said, "You want me, sir?" I said, "Yes." But I want you to hold your aburo ladi for Baba mi guide. So in his appreciation, he said I could hardly speak 3 words without calling the name of God. And that anything Timbaso won't believe won't from God. When you are saying too much about me, I'm a listener. And today he's so close to me. He's going to be about 74 or 75 now. I think I'm a child of God. Show me.
You don't think so, you are. You
are a child of God, sir.
That is trying to be modest. So what the teaching, and it is very clear, very a child of God. It is not for the money.
Yes.
Papa, sir, I want to, on behalf of the Ijebu Congress,
Yeah.
I want to thank you, sir,
Thank you.
for not disappointing us. At very short notice, we gave a call And I posted about we all know that home.
Yeah, I said I would do anything for you.
About the things you didn't even hesitate. You didn't have you ask. What is it all about? Okay, no problem. Oh my. Baba, Ọlọ́run tó ti gbé ẹ̀mí lẹ́yìn.
Àmì o.
We want to thank you so much. We feel proud. You represent everything that the gentleman should be. You are the pride of the gentleman. A pride to the black race. What's the thing the black man cannot do about? They were achieved. And you did them with class.
It's class.
There's no doubt about it that for centuries to come, for the rest of our lives, we will know that an OTUNBA Shibumi remains in his own class all the while. Or just one last answer. What do you want the young guy who wants the IJEBULAND to emulate from you?
First of all, the fear of God, not just vibrating it. And seek your God regularly. And seek your God regularly. I'm not a perfect human being.
You can say that.
But when I called you upstairs, I said, is it going to be formal or this or that thing? Because only can work with that. To come. It was a topic you said you were going to interview that interested me. That we should leave a legacy. That after we should have gone, the Ijebus will have something to say.
And we do have a lot to say about it.
No.
Indelible imprints on the sand.
Yeah.
Baba, thank you.
It's
Thank from everybody. Benny.
Coffee.
Ọmọ banta ogorogaluda gbọnu jagun ọmọ ṣe ọmọ ra ọmọ oníyebu àgbà ndo gẹrẹgẹrẹ níga lóde ìga níbi ẹ̀jẹ̀ kó sí òdodo omi owó yemulẹ̀ omi ilẹ̀. Àwa ti lómi nílẹ̀ ká ìṣàwó láyé ìṣàwó òde o bàbá yeye.
Ẹ̀wẹ̀ sọ Ìjẹ̀bú ọmọ alárẹ̀ o ẹ̀sọ́. Ẹ̀ka ní sùúrù kúrú sí kọ́ máa wọ bẹ̀rẹ̀.